Let Lita take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. Take your life out of the status quo. Status Life with Lita is brought to you by Status Home Design and the shops at Status, and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT.
Do you know what a bucket list is? Do you know why it's important to have a bucket list no matter how old you are? If you have one, are you checking off items, or is the list in your head? Today, Lita is going to share the importance of a bucket list for everyone. Yes, even kids can have their own list. We're going to share cool bucket list ideas and begin building our list together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Status Life with Lita on Business RadioX. I'm the host of the show, Derek Hayes. I'm here to introduce the star of our show, Miss Lita Brooks. Hello, Lita.
Hello. Hi.
Good afternoon.
It's afternoon.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
afternoon, Derek.
Well, Lita's been working as an interior designer for over 20 years. She's incredibly talented and has since branched out and opened multiple retail stores, an online marketplace, and is now blogging and podcasting full-time. If that wasn't enough, Lita's a mother of 2 children and 2 stepchildren and devotes her time to teaching others how to achieve their goals and to live life to the fullest. She sums it up best in her branded hashtag, Design Your Life. We are broadcasting live today from the Subaru of Gwinnett Studio in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. Status Life with Lita is brought to you by the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Injured in Georgia, make the right call to 404-777-HURT. Also sponsored by the Shops at Status, your one-stop shop for all your home and gift needs, Indigo Stone Trading, a home reimagined in the Status Market and Design. You're a very busy lady.
Yes, yes.
Lots and lots of things.
Well, that's why we have to make a bucket list.
I was going to say that.
Because I'm so busy.
That goes right into the necessity of a bucket list.
Yes.
To try and stay on point with the other aspects of life.
This is going to be a fun show. All right. If you're listening in your car, or you're listening if you're walking or working out, you may have to go back and listen to this so you can have some paper and a notebook with you. Just so everything, I'm going to say something, I'm sure, and I'm going to make Derek say something. And you might think, oh, I want to do that too, or that's going to spur an idea that you have. And I want you to use this as a working show where you make this list.
Like my list had to host a podcast.
There you go. And
So
now
I've
look
checked
at
the box.
you. Check. That's what you wanted to do. So I say make Derek say something jokingly because when I first brought this up as an idea, sharing mine with you, you didn't have one. And
No.
and I said, all right, I'm going to challenge you. I want 10 items this week. And I said that to you 3 years ago. And I don't have 10 items yet. So I'm holding you accountable today.
My dog ate the paper.
With all of our listeners.
I wrote them all down and my dog ate the paper.
So
I'll have to rewrite it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about a bucket list. All right. I want to actually define it because let me define it first, and then I'll go where I want to go with this, okay? All right. The actual definition of a bucket list. I know we've all heard about them.
Movies have
Morgan
been made about
Freeman and somebody else.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie, and it was really cute. But here's the premise. Okay. The definition is a list of things that one has not done before, but wants to do before dying.
Okay.
Dying. Why? I mean, okay.
Well, that is the ultimate end. There is no life after.
I understand, but
at
that's
least life here on
that's
Earth.
what I said. This is where I want to go with it. This is not the way that I think about it, and I want to take this show to absolutely change the mindset. And I think that's why a lot of people don't have a bucket list, because we all think that we have more time. We all think, well, I'm not in my 60s, 70s, 80s.
next year.
Maybe you are, and you haven't made it yet, or maybe you're at the end, and this is just this. Oh, what are the things it's not about that. Why can't this be the list of things that we want to do while living? These things excite me. These are dreams. These are things, maybe it's accomplishments.
Well, you told me it doesn't have to be very extravagant.
It can be anything you want.
I've always perceived a bucket list to be very extravagant.
Okay, well, that's your perception, whether it's a movie or some idea that you had of it, and it can be. It's whatever you want it to be. It's not what the movie is. It's not the definition. I'm sorry, and this is the morbid part, but you may die tomorrow. You may have a car accident. You may have a heart attack. I mean, we just don't know. We don't know. And so we have this idea that we have to do all this before we die, but how can we even put that as the end? Because we have no idea when that's happening. So make the list now. I encourage everyone listening. And I hope you're listening because you've wanted to make your list, because maybe you have a list and you haven't looked at it in a while, or it's unattainable, or you think it is. So let's dig in here. I'm ready. I got a big smile on my face.
I never thought about making a bucket list until we started dating, and you did bring that up. I mean, mentally in my mind, I've thought, yeah, I'd love to do this, or that'd be fun to do that, or you think about things, but I've never put pen to paper or anything officially that I could call my bucket list. So, yeah, I understand.
But what's really interesting is you still are hemming and hawing about it. It's just not a thing for you. It's not a tangible list that you're making. And I'm curious as to why.
Well, sometimes I'll, no matter what it may be, I may achieve something and go, oh, that was kind of cool. But it wasn't a thought of, I'm going to do this. And something happens. As a personal injury attorney, I may have a terrific outcome in a case, or I may sign up a certain kind of case that I've never had before and think to myself, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of always wanted to do that. But it wasn't that I wrote it down on a list. Or I may get some sort of award or recognition, and I didn't think to myself, wow, I wish I could do that. But when it happens, it's, oh, that was kind of cool.
And those things are cool, and that is amazing. But the mindset of this is to get you forward thinking. Those kind of things are going to happen to you. You're an extremely established, well-known, well-renowned, respected attorney throughout the United States. You're based here out of Atlanta, but of course we talk on your show. Derek is the host or the star of Injury Insider. Again, having multiple law offices, very, very, very busy attorney. So yes, those recognitions are going to come your way. That's the nature of your career. But this is to get you to think bigger than that. Where are places that you want to go? What are things? I think before you met me, and I'm saying this not out of arrogance because these are your words, being with someone, having a partner in life, being married, like that would be something that could be on your list.
Well, I've said to you more than once, I'm not a loner.
No.
At all. I am very social. I want to share life. I want to enjoy experiences together. I think the worst thing in the world would be to be on a golf course by myself, hit a hole in one, and then look around and realize there was nothing but crickets watching me.
Sure.
And there's no way to vouch for it. So likewise, I wouldn't want to go overseas to, or here in the U.S. to an amazing location and take a selfie because there's nobody there with me to enjoy.
That would be so sad.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes me sad that would be your life.
You'd want to look and say, wow, look at the Coliseum. Isn't that amazing? Well, there's nobody there to talk to.
There's no one to enjoy it. And you have to. And so that would be a bucket list. Had you thought about this with having a tangible list, then yes, that would be something. Finding someone to share life with, finding someone to see the Coliseum. Right. Those are things that can go on. You're thinking more career-based. And I bet there's a lot of women listening to this right now thinking, this is the same. I could hear my husband having this. I can hear him not understanding this. I want to make a list. I'm a dreamer. I want to travel. And vice versa. There are plenty of husbands that probably have a list, or like you, maybe it's not written down, but they have all these things that they want to do. What I'm trying to get you to understand, you and everybody listening, is make that list. It is way more fun to start checking the things off, to really think about the things that you want to do and start working for them. Whether it's a dream, whether it's just a trip, maybe you need to start saving for it. Maybe you need to take the steps.
Well, I will say this. If I had to, just in this very moment, formulate a list, and if you'd asked me 5 years ago or 10 years ago, most of my items on my list would likely be travel related.
That's okay.
And
that is perfectly fine.
In our home, we now have one of those big world maps.
Right.
With pins. And
I got that for you on Christmas.
Places we've been, and it's a certain color, and then places we want to go to. And that's a different color. So I could fill that map up very quickly.
And that's great. And that is your list. And there's no rule on how long it has to be. If you put 10 things on a bucket list, you have a list of 10. I personally always sit with 50. And if I make one of them, I do something on the list,
Check the box.
I check the box. I've got another thing that I do that I want to share in just a second. So I check the box and I add something because for me, I'm such a go-getter. I'm such a dreamer. I read travel books at night. I read travel magazines. So yes, a lot of traveling is experiences. Maybe I want to raft down the Colorado River. So it's the rafting and the location. Right? Maybe I want to hike Yellowstone, or I want to go eat pasta in Italy. I mean, I want to try some wine in Tuscany. I mean, it's not just going to Tuscany. What do I want to do there? I want to take a convertible and drive the countryside, right? I mean, there are things that you can get more specific about that are going to make the trip that more magical for me. So that's my advice. All right, let's talk about the lists themselves because I want to maybe, if those that are listening, kind of spark some ideas.
Okay,
so here's what I've done. Remember this?
Yes,
I'm
I do.
holding up so you can buy this off Amazon. You could probably get it at Barnes & Noble. So this is a book. It's got it's hardbound, and it says bucket list in gold. So it's got a black cover, bucket list, and this one says 101 things I want to do with my one wild and precious life. Life, not death. Living life. That's the key.
Sure.
Well, this could come full circle. Maybe that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I branded the hashtag Design Your Life.
There you go.
It doesn't say design your death, right? Live your life. Everybody go find a book. I don't care if it's a spiral notebook or whatever it is. But again, I am a journal person. I am a note taker.
Yes, you are.
I'm holding another book that you got for me. That is also a hardbound book. It says My Travel Journal. And it's heavy, but I take this book on all the trips that we go on and put, stickers and cutouts and all kinds of other stuff. So I have one for the traveling, and then I have one for the basic list. And I like both of them, and I use both of them all the time. But this is what helps me. These are my tools, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm looking at the bucket list book. It looked as though it has actual questions that it poses, or when you turn the first page, it looked like it was asking about your inspirations and things like that.
Yeah, the formal book does. What fear should I conquer? I put heights because there's a lot. If I go to the Eiffel Tower, which would be in the travel book and the bucket list book, I would love to see that in my lifetime. A new sport to try, tennis and golf. I've always been afraid of tennis because I have no hand-eye coordination. So for me, that would be fun. All my girlfriends play tennis, and I've never tried it because I can't hit the ball to save my life. I embarrass myself. So try it. So that's on my bucket list. Golf, I have a set of clubs, and then on my list is to take a lesson, right? These are things that are very attainable for me. Let's see. Someone I'd love to meet, Oprah. I'm sure she's on a lot of people's bucket lists, right? If she's listening, Oprah, you're on my bucket list.
But then again, too, Oprah may have a bucket list that says, I can't wait to meet Lita.
She might.
Just saying.
Status life with Lita, right? That would be fabulous. So you never know. Subject I'd love to learn about, geography, and I'd love to learn. I don't know. I read strange things at night, but furniture and architectural history. I do read about, I buy all these books about antiques and all kinds of things. And that, so anyway, it has the guidance to really, really get you thinking. Okay.
All right. Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
When did you start this passion for bucket list?
Good question. I did this very, very young. And that's another really interesting point. I'm going to sidebar that 1 second because I don't know if you remember this, but how long have we been dating? We just had an anniversary.
3.5 years.
3 years and 7 months.
Well,
so it was, we had probably only been even talking a month. Do you remember you called or texted and said, hey, what are you doing? And I said, I'm sitting on the floor and I'm working on a bucket list with my daughter. At the time, she was 6.5. Do you remember this?
Yeah, it was at the vision board. Yes, I remember.
Yes, vision board bucket list.
Yes,
right?
I remember.
And she had pulled out all her little kitty magazines. Yes, and she was and this was all on her. I don't know where she got this from. I don't know if she had heard me talk about it or what, but at 6.5 years old, she started cutting out pictures of Disney, cutting out things different. Food, donuts. Okay, fine. She wanted a donut, a kitten. And, she got a cat. So there are things that even a 6-year-old can grasp, because this is what you want to do in life. There is no age on this. Do not wait until you're 80, because these things are going to pass you by and you're going to have missed them. All right.
Then you have that thought of, God, I wish I would have done this.
100%. And that's exactly why. That is the why, right? I ask and answer that question a lot. So you asked me, and I sort of sidebarred to tell you about my daughter. I made this list in my 20s. I made this list before I had ever had kids. I made this list when my goals were a lot different. I made this list, and what's really interesting is because when I made it, the things that were important, and I did 50. I told you my magic number is 50.
Yes.
But I'm going to have to take a picture of this list. It's so old. It's ripped. It's highlighted. There's been coffee spilled all over it. It's been stapled, hole punched. This list has gone through 20 plus years with me, and it has changed a lot.
Yeah, there's highlighted areas. There's marked through areas. There are things written in the margins. Tell you what, before we dive into that list, let's take this very quick break.
All right, come back, because the way it has changed is what I want to get to.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Hey, Lita here, popping in real quick. Are you interested in changing your space and have no idea where to begin? Do you have a real trouble spot in your home and you are at a loss for what to do? Don't fret or fear. Even though I'm located in Georgia, we can still do a virtual design consultation. I have helped hundreds of people this way. Here's what you do. Go to my website, www.statuslifewithlita.com, and click Virtual Consults. You can look at the different packages and pricing and even book time with me right from the website. We can put together a color palette, decide on which furniture stays or goes, or even pull together a mood board for your home accents and furniture that might be needed to complete your space. I book time, not by the room. You could essentially have me to consult on your whole home. Again, go to my website, www.statuslifewithlita.com, and click Virtual Consults. Book away.
And we're back. Now let's go back into the list, because we were teasing the list.
Okay, so I told you how ratty and tattered this is. So I have it says my bucket list, 100 things I want to see or accomplish in my lifetime. Love it, right? Not before my death. Get rid of that word when it comes to your bucket list. In my lifetime. The reason I put 100 is because at the time I was running very, very competitively. I was racing, I was training, and I added, because there's 50 states, I had 50 items. It said run in all the U.S. states. To me was important. That was a way to get me to travel to every single one of the states. So even if I was traveling through a state, I would try to find a 5K where, I traveled to and from Michigan a lot, where, I'm going to be a night in Kentucky. Is there a race in the morning that I can jump into to check a state off of my bucket list?
You've done several. You've done New York. You've done Florida.
I have.
You've done Georgia, of course. And
a lot in Georgia.
Yeah.
I've done, Florida, the Carolinas. I've run in South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. Yes, I've run the South. But now I'm not running as competitive as I used to. Now I've done some big races. I put on there, run a marathon, run a half marathon, run a 5K. I did all of those. And running I'm just not, my goals have changed.
Well, you also, too, to be perfectly honest, you gave a kidney to your dad.
I did.
And I would think that would more than trump the idea of continuing to run 5Ks or more in every state. I mean, that was a life-giving sacrifice you made.
Yes.
And
so it's different.
Yes.
So life is different. Yes. And instead of dwelling that I'm not going to run all the 50 states,
let's tweak the list.
I'm not. I'm still going to go to all the 50 states. I'm still going to visit. I'm still going to have all 50 states in the physical book I just told you about.
Yeah, and a 40-yard dash is still running.
That's right. and some of the states, I had gone to Michigan, and I didn't race in Michigan, but I went to a beautiful park and ran around it, and that counted. But again, that's when the goals were different, and that's okay. Just because it's on there because at the time, that's the way I wanted to see the world. Now I just want to see now I have kids. Now I want them to see the world.
Sure.
There's 4 of them in our home that, I want to experience it through their eyes now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, but this is the fun part. I want to explain another really, really, really fun way that I feature the items that I have checked off. So I went and got a very, very large scrapbook, and I love to do this. I'm not a scrapbooker by nature, but this is my bucket list scrapbook. Have you ever seen this?
No, you haven't shown it to me.
I'm
looking at the first page. No, you haven't. I'm looking at the very first page, and what she's done is she'll list what the bucket list item is, the number associated with it, and then a picture of her actually doing it.
It's
right.
Great. That's right. So I just found some fun paper. You can get this anywhere, any craft store. So the very first thing, if you open up the book, it used to be, in my 20s, it was number 28 on the bucket list. So it says number 28, cut my hair short and give it to charity. That is something, and I did.
On December 29th of 2009.
That's right.
It's even
I
dated.
cut my very long blonde hair, and I gave it to the Pink Hearts Fund. They take any length. I know that there's some different locks of love, and there's some different things, but I found the Pink Hearts, they would take any length, any color. They cut my ponytail off, and I had a cute little bob. So that's in a scrapbook. That's the first thing you see. Number 25, shoot a gun. I had never shot a gun before.
Wow.
And it was simple to me.
But, yes,
but I knew that was something. So somebody took a picture of me with earplugs in shooting a gun.
You got a great pose there, by the way. It looks like you know what you're doing.
I was shooting something. It was a target, by the way. We were out on a farm, and that was a target. The next one, number 8, complete a half marathon. So again, the numbers are just the way that stuck them in there. It doesn't matter that this is number 8 and I did it right behind number 28. Right. These are just things that I'm checking off the list.
March 21st of 2010. You even have your number that you
Of course. You just keep the fun scrapbook things, keep the race that I did. This one was pretty big. It says number 46. I didn't know what this meant. I had been a dancer my entire life, and I was not going to be a professional dancer, but I didn't understand why I had all that training. There's purpose in everything.
Sure,
and I literally put number 46. You can tell I'm getting to 50 and I'm reaching here. Do, quote, something with my dance training. Well, I opened a studio.
Yeah, you did.
I did. That's a biggie.
Yes,
that's a big check off. So from the fall of 2001 to the spring of 2007, and then in my scrapbook, I've got pictures of my team, some newspaper clippings where we were featured. That can be huge, but it doesn't have to be, this is a good one. This is easy. Number 13, watch a scary movie in the dark from start to finish.
Okay.
What do you know about me?
Yeah, she hates scary movies.
Hates scary.
Yeah, with a passion.
I do not know. I don't even like mild thriller, right? Because I don't like to be scared. So for me, that was a bucket list. Can I even withstand an entire movie?
Well, you don't like surprises.
I don't like anything.
And surprises are usually a very prominent part of a scary movie.
So anyway, I hope you guys are chuckling as we're going through this. The list is long. There's 50 items. I'm not going to have time, nor do I even want to bore you with it. But this was really fun. I wanted to drive across country. I did that. I ran a full marathon. So these are some of the ones. I'm just going through the scrapbook here. Oh, here's one. It was jump off a 2-story dock. Okay, now this came from an instance where everybody else was doing it and I was afraid. Okay. I got to the top and I could not jump. I was afraid.
To conquer that fear.
I had to conquer it. So I had to put it on the bucket list to hold myself accountable. And I did it. Yeah. It wasn't a dock. It was even higher. I jumped off a rock, a big, huge rock into Lake Lanier, which is here in Metro Atlanta. Yes. And I was terrified. I had a complete panic attack on top of that rock. I thought someone was going to have to push me because I got up there and that fear stepped right in.
But you did it.
And I did it. And that goes in the completed bucket list items. And I wanted to visit the Masters. So again, these are all over the board. All over the board. These are fun things that is about conquering a fear. Some is setting a goal. Opening a dance academy. I mean, that's a big, ginormous thing.
Yeah, that's a huge step.
Right?
Absolutely.
Giving somebody a kidney. That's a big thing. But if it's on there, it holds you accountable. And that's what I really want you guys to have the takeaway from this. Make the list. And I want to take it a step further. If you're listening to this and you're going, I'm going home and I'm going to make my list, please, please, please share it with me. Please share that you made the list. Please share some ideas. Find me on social media. This is fun. This is life. This is why we are designing all this. So send me a DM. I will respond. Let's talk about some of these fun items.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, with that being said,
What you
to
got?
try and help listeners out, and quite frankly, me too, give me some ideas, some cool bucket list ideas that you may have that I haven't thought about or the listeners haven't thought about.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So you can, should I go to mine specifically? I'm opening the book right
Sure,
now.
you can
Let's
do
see.
that.
All right. So as happens to be number 15, visit the 7 natural wonders of the world. So that takes up seven
Right.
different things that are
Right,
all
right.
listed. So Yosemite, Yellowstone, Niagara Falls, the Hawaii volcanoes, the Grand Tetons, and the Grand Caymans, and the Glacier Bay, Alaska. That's all on there. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. I
Okay.
need you to make that happen.
We gotta find
I want
we
a
gotta
big
find the hat
the hat
first.
I will
Right.
get.
And the
I want
mint juleps and the hat.
I want to be featured in House Beautiful. That's
Okay.
another biggie. Okay. But there's also, I want to take a sewing class. I just do. I just think
Okay.
that would be fun.
I got the merit badge back in Boy Scouts, but I don't remember how to do it.
See?
I can try.
I want to join a book club just for one semester, just one season of my life. I want to be in a book club. I want to go apple picking. I've always wanted to do that. That's very simple.
Yeah, that's attainable.
See,
That's here
so
in
there
Georgia.
are
There's
there are
apple
huge
festivals
things, and then I want to ski a black diamond. You know why? Because I got to the top of one and I couldn't go down it. I was afraid. I'll go green, I'll go blue, but I was afraid of the black, and so now it's on the list. I need to ski a black to check it off the list, and you'll have to be there to take a picture of me. So, I've also want to take a snowboarding lesson. I can
Okay.
ski, and I've never snowboarded. So
I've never snowboarded either. Well, I've only skied twice in my life, and it was man-made snow, and I'm sure it's not anywhere close to what the real thing is like. I
Yeah.
grew up in the Panhandle of Florida.
Well, you've water skied.
I
Tons.
surfed, water
Right.
skied, all those things, but yeah, I've not done the snow skiing, the snowboarding for sure.
So, okay, a few more that are just generic. So those are mine. And again, I hope this is sparking some fun, some smiles, and some giggles. And I hope you guys are taking notes and beginning to compile your list if you don't have one. And maybe you're adding, maybe you put 100, all the way to 100. I don't care. Just make the list. Ride horses on the beach. Go bungee jumping. Take a hot air balloon ride. Attend the Olympics. I have done that. That could have been.
Yeah,
it wasn't mine, but
right.
I've done that. Be in the Saturday Night Live audience. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Some of these I found just as general ones when I was looking on the internet. And my list is long. I can go through some of mine too if we have time at the end. Ride a mechanical bull. That could be on mine because I had the chance to do it and I chickened out. I
Really?
have the tendency to chicken out.
Well, that mechanical bull, you're in front generally of a lot of folks.
I know.
And it
There
can be very
was.
embarrassing if you don't
Correct.
stay
And I don't
on
like
for-
to be embarrassed.
No,
So
no, you
I need to
don't.
put that on there. Get embarrassed and be okay with it.
No.
So anyways, the one thing too, those are cool bucket list ideas. Maybe me telling some of mine. But Derek, I'm going to put you in the hot seat because you had a really hard time with your bucket list. We started the show kind of by talking with you. By the end of the show, I want you to add something to your bucket list. I want you
Okay.
to be thinking as we are finishing here.
Okay.
But tell this book that was our bucket list book, 50 of the items are mine, 50 of the items are yours. You only have what? 7? Yeah.
No, there's 12 here.
Okay. Derek has 12. Read a few.
I don't remember exactly when it was that I wrote these. It's clearly my handwriting.
It's recently.
But yeah, I do remember we pulled the book out and you said, here, write some things down. Well, if you want me to go through the list, first thing I put here was return to Italy. I went to
Okay.
Italy right after I graduated high school. So what are you, 18 then? And I appreciated it because I love art, but I don't think I appreciated it anywhere near as much as I would now as a much older adult. I think that I would truly experience the trip in a different light. This is something too that I put cruise the Amazon River. I enjoy cruises, love cruises. Cruise the Nile River. That's, to me, would be an amazing scenic trip, also to the wildlife. I didn't put it on here, but I even like the idea of cruising the Mississippi River.
There you go.
There's a lot of history here in the U.S. that you could find and see on that cruise. Go on an African safari. That's not for the purpose of hunting, but it's for the purpose of seeing
Sure.
the natural habitats, the lions, the zebras, giraffes, those kind of things. Visit the Holy Land. Growing up as a preacher's kid, my dad took tours twice a year for many years to the Holy Land and taught during those trips, but I was a kid. I never went. I know it's not generally safe in some of those areas now, but I would love to see the Holy Land. I'd love to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, Peter, Paul, all the disciples. Again, most of mine are travel related that I put here. Go to Australia, go to New Zealand, go to Hawaii, go to London, those kind of things.
Yeah, and it's all travel. All right, so you're going to take the pen, and I'm going to go forward, and I want to give our listeners, we're gonna take this a step further. I keep saying that. We're building here because it doesn't just have to be a list of all the things that you want to do. You can do a list just for the summer. You can do an actual summer bucket list of the things that you want to do, or if you have kids that they want to do, and make them a part of the list. One of my closest friends, she actually takes a bucket and they put all the summer bucket list items inside the bucket and they pull them out and use clothespins once they've done something. And then at the end of the summer, they have all these great memories. So that's a really good way. You can have a family bucket list. So sit down one night at dinner, and maybe it's not just yours. Maybe everybody in the family gets to interject on the list. So your daughter may want to go somewhere. Your son may want to go somewhere. Maybe it's just you and your spouse. That's fine too. Maybe it's only a travel bucket list. You can have a list of career accomplishments, and you can have just a travel bucket list. Like we have this travel journal. Only the travel goes in here, and everything goes into the bigger list any way you want. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm giving some other ideas in case something sticks. If you do summer, maybe you do fall. I want to go apple picking. That would be in my fall bucket list. I want to hike somewhere. I want to, take family pictures on a tractor. I mean, whatever it might be, right? If there's something that you want to attain. So lots of different types of lists, lots of things you can do. I urge you to get the book and make the book. Just get a blank journal. You don't have to get the travel bucket list. I will show you a picture and have a link on the website, just if you want the one that I featured and that we use, that's perfectly fine. But I urge you also, once you do something, it is so fun. You could probably hear the excitement. Derek can see the smile on my face. The scrapbook, when I've completed something on the bucket list, page. Because every time you flip through it, it's a real scrapbook. You remember that memory. You remember, oh, I did that. Yeah. I ran that race. I drove across country. I hadn't thought about that trip. I did that in 2008. So I made that bucket list prior to 2008 because it was on there and I did it. Well, how fun. How fun. If you make that list now and then you do the scrapbook, then you have it when you're 80. Sure. Hoping that we all live that. Then you can show your kids and your grandkids, and you get to relive the whole thing. You guys, this is an absolute amazing tool for your life. Well, I'll also say this too, and seeing your bucket list, if there's ever a time when I need to come up with an idea for a present or some sort of surprise, then let's pull that bucket list out and see what we can check off. I love that. Next time. Yeah. So you got to leave the list where I can find it. Okay. Don't hide it. I need to be able to see it. Well, we have been in such transition with our home. And if you're following Status Life with Lita, you know that we're renovating. And if you're following closely, you know that the office was torn up because all the furniture went to the new law firm. So I'm currently working on card tables with all of my stuff all over the floor. And I show people, I let you guys in, I show you what's real. I show you the piles on the floor because that's what's real. Everything is not perfection and fun. I'm saying that because all this has been buried in boxes and we just pulled all of it out to come to the show today. So it'll be fun. We're going to sit down, have dinner, and we're going to talk about some more so Derek can add more than 12 to a list. He's supposed to have 50. I thought you were telling me to write one down now. Now we're closing the show, so tell us. What did you add? Well, I thought about this just in the spur of the moment. So having played baseball for a long time in my life, I thought, why not? And that is throw out a first pitch at a pro baseball game. Okay. There are many different ways you can be asked to do that. Uh-huh. I think, too, there are probably charitable things you can donate and eventually be able to do it. But talk about pressure and talk about fear. I've thrown baseballs for years as a coach, as a player, and I could throw a baseball from a pitching mound. I pitched in high school and here and there. But I don't know, just the pressure of standing on a mound with thousands of people watching. Okay. Throwing out a first pitch. See? Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you've probably seen some of the very bad first pitch videos. I did. You showed me one recently. Yeah. But anyway, that's great. That's great. I love that. I will say one that I took off, which is relevant to our life now. I had on here, where was it? Own sugar gliders. Well, I don't have any desire to own sugar gliders. So again, but I thought at the time I was going to, and then my sister got them, and I didn't really love it. Listen, number 3 on here, complete a crossword puzzle all by myself. I just want to. You could probably do it with ease, but sometimes they're hard, right?
Yeah, well,
I want like a big New York Times one that I go from start to finish and complete. And sometimes it's just taking the time to do it. I want to take an overnight train trip somewhere by train. Volunteer at a charity event. I've done that many times, right?
You've done that.
I want to hike the Appalachian Trail for 5 days straight. So you better get ready, Derek, because you got to go with me.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Okay. So see, there's lots of fun stuff in here. It doesn't have to be serious. Some of it's travel, some of it are experiences, and some of it is a career. But I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this show. I know that I did. This is, again, it's near and dear to my heart. This is a working list. It's a working scrapbook. I love showing it. And like I said, I want to hear from you guys. Let's give me some more ideas. Tell me what you're doing.
As we close, tell everyone how to find you.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. This show is called Status Life with Lita, and that is where you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Status Life with Lita. Send me messages, give me feedback. I love it. I try to answer everyone. Sometimes it's not immediate because I do get a lot of messages, but I will get back to you. I own multiple retail stores. They all have Status in the name. The Status Market, Status Home Design, and the shops at Status. You can basically Google the word Status and you will find me. So please, please, please do that. Please go to the podcast, listen, subscribe, and we love 5-star reviews. So if you've had a lot of fun with this show, please give us 5 stars and keep listening. Wait for the next one.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again very much for joining us on Status Life with Lita, presented by the Law Office of Derek M. Hayes, Shops at Status, Indigo Stone Trading, A Home Reimagined, and the Status Market and Design. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any upcoming shows. This program and all the other shows are available on your favorite podcast apps. You can always enjoy any of our episodes anytime by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett Studio, and then clicking on Status Life with Lita. Until next time, for Lita Brooks, I'm Derek Hayes, and you are listening to Status Life with Lita on Business Radio X.